Okay, everyone. In the essence of time, we are going to get started. I just want to say hello to everybody. Welcome to the 25th MedResults Network Educational Webinar. I'm Jamie Parrott, Vice President and COO of MedResults Network, and as always, I want to thank everyone for taking time out of your morning or afternoon to attend our presentation. Traditionally, at the beginning of every MedResults Network webinar, I review some of the exciting things that have happened over the past few months. However, as we have a jam-packed webinar presentation today, in the essence of time, I'm going to dive right into the introduction of our special guest presenter. Today, we've invited one of our partners from Beautiful Forever Consulting to join us, expert aesthetic consultant and CEO, Cheryl Whitman. Many of you may be familiar with Cheryl, as she's one of the most reputable consultants in the aesthetic industry with over 3 decades of experience. Cheryl's worked closely with hospitals, spas, anti-aging centers, and physician practices to help them grow and thrive. And she's an accomplished author who developed and coined the Aesthetic Medical Success System, which provides a complete educational system and consulting services package to help jumpstart the process of creating successful aesthetic medical businesses. In addition, Cheryl wrote Beautifully Profitable, Profitable Forever. It's her most recent publication, which also taps into the necessities for a successful aesthetic business and staying ahead of your competition, which is what we'll be covering today. Cheryl's a faculty member of the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, and she's regularly a popular speaker at some of the largest conferences and seminars across the country. Last month, we did a survey of our membership and asked what types of challenges you faced in your practices, what was critical to the success of your business, and what you felt would be of the most importance to you in an educational presentation. Well, you guys spoke and we listened, and today Cheryl is here to address some of the challenges that you face on a daily basis with respect to increasing competition. She's going to be diving into 7 ways that you can stay ahead of your competitors and maintain that competitive edge. And for everyone who can make it out today, keep in mind that as a MedResults Network member, you're going to receive a discount off of Cheryl's book, Beautifully Profitable, and off of any of her consulting packages. And Beautifully Profitable, as I just mentioned, it also covers a lot about introducing new profit centers. So I really encourage you to take advantage of the special offer that we show at the end of the presentation. Finally, before we begin, I want to remind you that a 30-second survey is going to pop up with a few questions after the end of the presentation to capture your feedback. If you have questions for Cheryl or you're interested in learning more about what Beautiful Forever can do for your business, you can use the survey to let us know, or also feel free to type your questions into the chat box during the presentation. If we have time afterwards, Cheryl will answer your questions, and if not, she'll definitely get in touch with you directly to answer those questions. So with that said, I'd like to introduce our special presenter, CEO Cheryl Whitman from Beautiful Forever Consulting.
Thank you, Jamie, and welcome everybody. The 7 secrets of staying ahead of your competition, and which profit centers are you missing? Well, that's an interesting question, and I'm sure often it comes up in your businesses. The trend is really building a culture of sales, and I just want to start with a quote. It's an author, Napoleon Hill. The starting point of all achievement is desire. Keep this constantly in mind. Weak desires bring weak results, just as a small fire makes small amount of heat. So it's important that you understand that everything starts at the top. And when we work with practices, no matter what size, we always start with the leaders, we always start with the owners or the physicians, because it all does start at the top. So now we're going to get into the trends and keeping up with the trends. We want to quarterly analyze what is going on in your practice. That is something as consultants that we often will talk to a practice about, or a med spa. And most of the time, people don't know where their profits are coming from. So you want to go back and look at your numbers, even if you have to go to your CPA. This is money that you could be making. It's money that you could be losing. You need to know where your profits are coming from, where your money is. You never stop creating and promoting, and always looking for niche markets. You must keep your eyes wide open. In today's world, as we know, it's a 24/7 world. Things don't stop. It just keeps moving very, very quickly. You want to deliver sales through education and through service. And you want to stay ahead of your competition. There's an interesting statistic here from 2015. 14.2 million cosmetic, minimally invasive procedures were performed. That's a huge number, and it's growing. So do you know what your competition is up to? We talk to practices all the time, and unfortunately, they'll say, oh yeah, there's a doctor down the hall, there's a spa up the street, but nobody really knows what's going on and knows what their competition is really up to. Well, all of that information is very valuable for you to learn, whether you send in a mystery shopper, you call, you send somebody in who might be new at your location that doesn't know them, and just check them out. See what the competition is doing. You want to really understand the culture and are they, what are they promoting? What are they selling? What does the place look like? How's the customer service? Kind of analyze it and do your own little mystery shopping, because that data is very underestimated by a lot of practices. And you know what? It's really a key point for you to know. We do competitive analysis and feasibility studies all the time, and it is important that you keep up on it, and you can do it yourself. You don't need to hire a consultant to do it. If you do it yourself, you'll have the answers right in front of you of what your competition is doing, what they're charging. That's not to say what they're doing you need to do. That's not to say what they're charging, that's what you need to charge. Absolutely not. But you need to know what is going on around you. Years ago, it wasn't 20 years ago, doctors had no major competition of, a couple of blocks from them, a couple of miles, depending on where they're located. But now it's very, very different. And you want to acquire new patients. You want to know what the patients are looking at when they're shopping around in your community. So you want to evaluate the marketplace today. You want to see what is really out there. It's good to see everything nationally and globally. Always, go into the internet and search keywords. Look to see who comes up, what's going on. You also want to do Google Alerts, by the way. Put your own name in, the name of your business, the name of your competitors, and put it in Google Alerts. And every day or every week, you can actually see who is in the news or what's popping up. And it could be something about you or you're quoted somewhere and you don't even know about it. So in evaluation, you want to go outside of your own office, outside of your windows, and really keep abreast of the trends. Continuing education, well, as an educator myself, I can't tell you how important that is, that you, as well as all of your staff, constantly need to be educated. I attend a lot of trade shows, and I'm always happy when I see lots of staff and teams of people coming to the shows to sit and to learn, to listen, to walk the floors, and to learn what's going on in the industry and to keep abreast of everything. Even if you go with intention of buying nothing, that's fine. I don't want you to go to a show and buy because it's show special. I want you to go just have your eyes wide open, so when people or consumers, customers, clients, patients, whatever we're calling them today, come in, you understand what they're asking for. And maybe you have an alternative. Maybe you don't like using some sort of laser or technology, and you can let them know why and let them know the alternatives. Sometimes, it's based on price. So you want to gain the market share. So is it always going to be on price? No. You don't want to squeeze your profits and make nothing. There are some practices that like the Groupon method. It doesn't work for everybody. It's very hard to convert people. It's very hard to get them to move ahead into buying other packages or programs because those consumers are just looking for the next bargain. They're not going to be dedicated to you. So it's probably not what I would recommend that you do. But you do want to stay abreast of what's going on. You must offer added value. I don't care how much money you have or you don't have. Everybody wants added value these days when they go shopping. And the price. You don't have to be competitive apples to apples or microdermabrasion to microdermabrasion, a laser hair removal to laser hair removal, a facelift to facelift. It doesn't have to be exact with your competition. You can put together packages and programs and bundle and offer service, offer good value, educate, and offer that good service, and you can charge whatever you want. The sky's the limit. if you offer patient financing and they can afford it, but we'll get into that. But you have to decide in the marketplace your vision, your mission, and where you're going to stand as far as price goes. So you want to position yourself as a leader. You want to position yourself as the expert. So one of the things that we often say is, what are you an expert in? And get a laundry list. Okay, you might be. But honestly, if the press came to you tomorrow and said, what are you an expert in? You have to have one or maybe two things that you're an expert in. Doesn't mean you can't do 20. But you need to know what that is. And then you need to let the world know, as well as your community, what it is you're an expert in. You have to identify that in all of your branding, your website, your social media. We help ghostwrite books and blogs and ebooks and newsletters. And you need to get the word out, press releases. And you want to create that unique selling proposition for yourself and that uniqueness and why the patient would want to come to you, why to your location or for your core specialty. And these days, you know, you have maybe 5 competitors on the street in a city like New York or, you know, Minneapolis. I mean, Beverly Hills is probably worse. But you want the media to come to you if you are an expert in something. So think about that and take notes on that. And I'm always happy to talk to you at any time. You can reach me. The information will be at the end of the webinar. And I can help you talk about positioning yourself as the expert, as the innovator. So ultimately, what is the uniqueness? What makes your brand special? What makes you special? And you want to explore the options of maybe trademarking a unique combination of services. So it could be a skin tightening and a lipo combination. It could be a liquid facelift combination. It could be a skin tightening and a skin thread facelift. It could be a combination of things that you can put under your own name. So maybe it would be Whitman's facelift. So nobody else is going to have that. So it couldn't be apples to apples when they go to the competition to check out pricing, because everybody does check out pricing. And we know they go to at least 4 or 5 different competitors, and they do their homework online. So the competitive advantage that builds your brand, always remember your reputation. You must check your reputation online. Make sure you absolutely know what is being said about you. Make sure that you get testimonials put on the internet, not only your website, not only Real Self, but all over the internet. You want your testimonials posted. Remember, if it's on your website, everybody knows you put it there. And everybody should understand your story, your brand. What is the story behind your brand? What is your vision and mission? Start by sitting down with your office staff, and I talk about this in my Beautifully Profitable book. We actually created the book because we want you to start monthly marketing meetings. And start by discussing your brand, your mission and vision. Make sure everybody who works with you, you think they might know it. But trust me, half of them might be new, half of them weren't listening when you might have talked to them when they started working for you. Maybe they're working for you 20 years, and in that time things have changed and evolved, I hope anyway. So now we want to identify the difference between yourself and others. What is your uniqueness? Again, unique selling proposition. Your strategy, it's always evolving. Knowing your competition is an ongoing process. So if you listen to me today and you go check out your competition, make a spreadsheet, put some notes in, it's going to change in 6 months. So you need to do it again. So plan a strategy. If you're going to add a new profit center, if you want to create something new in your practice, you create a business plan. It doesn't have to be a huge business plan. Don't let that scare you off. But you need to have benchmark. You need to have numbers. So if you're going to bring in this piece of equipment or you're going to bring in this product, what is it going to cost you? And then you have to include, obviously, the cost of the equipment and what you have to pay for disposables, what you're going to pay for any topicals, what you're going to pay your staff, what is the overhead for the use of the room and the time, and so forth. You need to figure out a plan. Most people, unfortunately, don't have a plan. Of course, it's always great to be the first in your market. There's no question about that. It's hard these days because there's so many people out there. And we will go over a couple of profit centers that are newer than others. But you need to understand that you're the expert. You need to let everybody else know that you're the expert. You need to know who your demographics are. What is it that your demographics are looking for? I've been to lots of practices where there's lasers or machines sitting in a corner collecting dust, and you're writing checks out every month. That's not doing you any good because you didn't do your homework on your demographics. You want to listen. You want to listen to your patients. Doesn't mean you have to do a consult that lasts an hour and a half. I had a conversation, in the last couple of weeks with a couple of physicians who thought that the longer the consult, the more they'd bond with the patient and the more they'd close. Well, that's not true when we really looked at the numbers. It's not the amount of time you spend. It's how engaged you are, how focused you are. And, I guess I look at it like Bill Clinton, he'd hold somebody on the shoulder, he'd shake their hand, he'd look straight in their eye and give them a minute, and they would feel like he was engaged with them. That's what made him a special person. I'm not getting into politics, that's for sure. But what is it that you're communicating? What are the patients communicating to you? Are you really listening to them? Are you really understanding what they're doing? So what are they looking for? When they come to you, they are coming to you because you have a solution. What's new? What's exciting? What's proven? And those are the types of things that you should be listening for and talking to them about. What are the solutions you have? You want to be very responsive when you respond. Don't be quick to respond. Don't make them feel that they're being rushed. You want to listen and you want to explain. Maybe you have a before and after book. Maybe you have something on a computer screen or on a tablet. And you want to talk about what's new and what you have or how you evolved. You might have started with one type of machine years ago, but now the newest technology is this. And you want to integrate new profit centers into your menu and constantly evolve your menu because it gets boring for the staff, it gets boring for the patients. You want to constantly evolve and target key items that they're reading about in the magazines and they're hearing on the news, even if it's combining old technologies into one and mix and bundle them together. So you're adding new profit centers. I want you to be careful when you evaluate what's going to work. First, you have to know what you have and what is working, and maybe some things that are not working that you want to eliminate from your menu. Now we can talk about adding new profit centers. Once you have your foundation solid, you know what's making you money. So one of the top things right now across the board is vaginal rejuvenation. Thermiva has been amazing. There's 700 practices buying Thermiva, every few months. And there are other vaginal rejuvenation programs out there. There are laser technologies out there, and they're doing a lot of marketing. So you're going to get some calls for non-invasive procedures. And when it comes to vaginal rejuvenation, it's like, wow, how do we start to talk about that when that's not our specialty? Well, there's ways of starting the conversation, and we've created programs for that as well. Hormone replacement is getting stronger all of the time. Baby boomers, obviously, we're aging, and there is a need for men and for women. For a long time, the hormone replacement and the anti-aging with mainly men, now the women are coming on board quicker and quicker. Body contouring, it just keeps getting bigger. Everybody just wants to look better, and everybody wants non-invasive. And then there's multi-use lasers, there's medical weight loss programs, there's all types of hair replacement. As a matter of fact, what's interesting with that is there's a huge growing market for women in the restoration of hair growth on eyelashes and eyebrows and foreheads where the hair is receding, where women are not even aware of that. They think it's just for men. And then there's stem cell therapy. That is a growing industry, and we will be hearing a lot about stem cells in the future because I really think it's the future. Some added products and retail is very important in your practice. Private label products, I'm a fan because of the revenue opposed to a branded line, but I do recommend usually having a branded line as well as private label. The skin tightening, the non-surgical radio frequency is a tremendous market. The market for people who don't want surgery, but this is an alternative. And the ThermiTight, ThermiSmooth, they're doing amazing. They work from the nose to the toes, and it's great that there's alternatives and you don't have to have surgery, and minimally invasive with no downtime. PRP injections are being used daily, more now than ever before, in the face, in the hair, in the body, and used in combination with or without the microneedling. And there's many options with the needling process. You do have to watch with all of these what the state laws are and who can use what services and who could provide them in your office. That's something you need to stay on top of because it does change according to state by state. So the non-surgical alternatives are really what people are looking for today. And it's a great way, if you are a surgeon or you're doing surgical procedures, to get people in for the life cycle of the patient and offer them the non-surgical, let them know realistically what they'll see, 20 or 30% improvement. Let them know that for sure. And then, I don't know, maybe it'll be 2 years, maybe it'll be 5 years, maybe it'll be 2 months. They'll come in and say, I want surgery. The Silhouette Instalift, just FDA approved in the United States from the UK, and that is quickly taking over. And that's great in combination with something like ThermiTight. Doctors are doing it in many, many ways now, and offering many types of alternatives using a lift. The vaginal rejuvenation, I'll just go through some of these very quickly. It's what the patients are looking for because there's zero downtime, it's painless, and it could be done by a non-physician, and it takes 30 to 45 minutes. And they're getting an average of $3,000, $3,500 for 3 treatments. Paul Hirschman is CEO and founder of Thermi, and he's, always talking about the industry. And this was probably even before it really got hot. And he was talking about the $7 billion over the next 4 years. I think the numbers have even gone up since then. It's interesting that even at some of the trade shows last year, for the very first time, they actually did a vaginal rejuvenation day in Vegas at the trade show. And that was pretty amazing. And this year they're going to be doing them again. And they're doing live demos now. So the world has changed in even just a year. Hormone replacement therapy is obviously for men and for women, and the average patient spends $3,500 a year, if not more. But the profit margins are 82%, and it increases and helps people of all ages feel so much better about themselves with very little investment on your part. So there's all type of lasers. Eclipse has a laser that does multiple things, and there's a numerous amount of lasers and laser heads that can be utilized. You have to look at what's comfortable for you and for your demographics. Cool Sculpting is doing a great job these days of marketing to the consumer, so the consumers are coming in. A lot of my practice are actually using Cool Sculpting as a way to get people through the door. And if they're not a candidate, then they're offering them liposuction or smart lipo, a tickle lipo, or whatever kind of lipo. But they're getting positive reviews. It's not for everybody. So if you get somebody calling you or coming in and you don't have a machine, you just mention the alternatives that you have and why. The medical weight loss is large because we're the fattest country in America. So unfortunately, 40% of adults over 40 are clinically obese. And for small investments, you can really make a lot of money and get people coming back on a consistent weekly or biweekly basis. And that's one of the things that's important to look at is how often a patient is coming in and how much that patient is worth to you over a year's time. And I have some other ideas on medical weight loss and related topics, which I'm happy to discuss with you if you are interested. Hair replacement, very little downtime. These are low numbers, $5,000 to $7,500. We have practices getting up to $15,000. And it's tech-driven. A lot of my doctors are not even doing it. They're just having techs do the hair replacement. Stem cell therapy, that ranges in time and money depending on body parts, but the gross profit is at least 80%, if not more, and is something to look at. So retail, consider all the benefits of having retail, that somebody has to come back to you on a regular basis. And skincare represents a market share of $96.5 million each year. That's primarily skincare. So your top 20 items can make up to 20 to 50% of your sales. So you need to go back and do an inventory. Look to see what you have, what product lines you have, what's selling, what's not, and get rid of the stuff that you don't sell and that's just sitting there. Either get it back to the company or have a sale and start to focus on some new interesting brands, or consider a private label product of your own where it is a 3 to 5% markup. So for an example, private label, if it's costing you $22, that's your cost, completed, finished, and labeled, you could be retailing for $150 to $250 or more. With a name brand, you have to be careful these days because of the internet. We have Skin Store and Drugstore.com and lots of others. So if it's costing you $52, the only thing you could do is double it or less, because online they're going to always get discounts. Even though there are some lines that they're not allowed to be online, you'll find them on eBay and other places. So you want to build your name, you want to build your brand and increase your retention. A private label product line is great. I work with about 50 labs, everything from cosmeceutical, natural, organic, all the way through to compounding pharmacies and retinoids and Kligman formulas and hydroquinones and so forth. Radio frequency and skin tightening, the non-invasive, it's what's really hot now for men and women. And you can do your entire body with no downtime and no stitches and no scars. It's amazing. Ultrasound, skin tightening, it's been hot, it will continue to be hot, and it's very well known. The PRP, as you get older, I feel that, your platelet-rich plasma is less and less as you age. That's why I think the therapies with microneedling are good, so it goes deeper into the skin, and then all minimally invasive. And the microneedling helps other products to absorb better in your skin. And there's some out there that are better than others, the technologies, and I'm happy to discuss it with you. So you want to combine therapies, create unique programs, and bundle packages. And we said before, have ownership of them. Create a trademark and put together. Tell your story of multiple services in one. Comes to equipment selection, it's not easy. I mean, every trade show I go to, and there's one at least a month, there's always new things out there. It's confusing. I don't mention it all in my book, Beautifully Profitable, but we do cover practice marketing, operations, and we have an up-to-date information chapter on profit centers and equipment in our book. You can find it on Amazon as well as our website, and we have a special at the end for you as well. So you want to introduce new equipment. Maybe it's even veins where it doesn't cost you a lot of money. You don't have to invest all the time, every quarter, in something new that's going to cost you a lot. But you want to investigate, make sure that you have a plan of how you're going to market the new procedure or the new item on your menu or the new products once they get in the door. So making the decision, getting them in the door, and then letting people know that you have them. How are you going to do that? We do work with hundreds of practices a month on creating events and marketing campaigns, but that's what you have to figure out. Which technologies are working, which ones work best for you, and which technologies will be better for your marketplace. You definitely need to think mobile, because that's where it's all at. 90% of mobile searches lead to some sort of consumer activity. And that, that's a fact. And we all know how much more we're using our phones to buy and to shop and to surf. So the average American spends 2.7 hours each day socializing. I'm not sure that's always so true, but there are some days where I guess it is true, and I see my friends. But the mobile marketing will generate $400 billion in the U.S. alone, and that was a figure from 2012. So you want to optimize all of your mobile platforms. You want to look at your website, your social media, your blogs, your posts, your articles, your YouTube channels, and you want to make sure that everything is solid, everything talks about your brand. If you need help or you need a report, I'll even help you do a free assessment of what you have going on online. So you want to expand your visibility of your brand, and you want to target your message. Make sure that you're on Yelp and Google and Foursquare. Make sure that everything is out there, your testimonials, your brand information about your company, and you have to manage your online identity. Watch and be cautious of all of your testimonials and what patients are saying about you and your reputation. That reputation management is very important. Social media, well, we have 10 levels of intimacy, which is a cute little cartoon, but it's crucial for marketing success. You must engage, you must inform, you must entertain, and you must inspire. You have to focus on building and be active. It's very cost effective, but you have to position yourself in the marketplace as an expert. You don't only want likes, you also want people engaged. So the videos are really number one now, and the photos, the before and after photos. You have your database. Start by working with your internal database. Start working with what you have. Don't go spending $20,000 a month, $10,000 a month, whatever your budget is on ads and magazines, because everybody else is in the magazines. Start engaging everybody internally. Go to your your list and kind of bundle your list and group your list of patients, men, women, age groups, and target them depending on what it is that you're promoting that month or what the new procedure or product is. And you want to have blogs out there and articles out there on those topics. And internal marketing will absolutely save you money. It is not hard. You should have a good database to work from. If your computer software program is not a great one, we should talk, but you really need to make sure you have one that can get you great reports. And you must keep your website updated. Need to add new content. It'll help you grow your SEO. You must get videos and photos on there. And your bio needs to be consumer friendly, not something, if you're a physician, that you'd write if you wanted a job at a hospital and you wanted them to read your CV. So it has to be consumer friendly, and we often look at that. And patient video testimonials are the number one thing that Google's looking for. Google owns YouTube, and so it all works hand in hand. But the average user spends 88% more time on a website that has a video. Think about that number and go back and look at your website. Testimonials are huge. They have great value, and you can ask, have your front desk ask, have people ask. Asking by email doesn't always work. Asking by, sending a message doesn't work. It's usually when they're in the office or the med spa is the best time to get them to give you a testimonial. Video testimonials would be great, but that's what you want, is for the consumers to see other consumers happy with you, how you've changed your life, how they're happy, and how they like the doctor, great customer service, they like the office, and make sure you have your forms filled out so you can use their names and their photographs. Patient financing is really important. I mean, you want to make sure that everybody can afford the services that you're offering. You might think you can if you're in Beverly Hills or you're in Palm Beach, but you know what? People sometimes don't want to take money out of their wallet or show their husband their credit card bills. So we often say, if you're board certified, Doctor Care credit's great, United Medical credit is excellent, backs you up, and there's no cost to your practice. If you mention Beautiful Forever, we work a lot with patient financing. They will always give you a really good deal to work with them and set you up within 24 hours. So I thank you very much, patient, and you can go to beautifullyprofitable.com, or you can go to Amazon. Can't offer you a discount on Amazon, though, but you can use the discount code VIP, and that will give you $10 off the ebook. We put aside 20 ebooks for today's webinar, and we do have webinar specials, so I'm happy to, the first 20 people, I guess, that get on, be able to email you automatically the book. So if you want to transform your aesthetic practice, the Beautifully Profitable book will absolutely help you. It is one of the best-selling books in our industry right now. It will help you with management, marketing, operations, and how to be profitable with your new profit centers. So if you still have questions, you could reach me by email. I am always happy for people to link in or to Facebook with me, Cheryl Whitman, and Beautiful Forever, as well as Beautifully Profitable. And we do have consulting packages available, and I'm happy to do some free assessment reports for you as well for joining us today. And I thank you, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, Cheryl. We really appreciate your time today. It was an excellent presentation, and for everyone who's still on the line, we actually have a copy of Beautifully Profitable here. It's excellent. We've all read it, so I encourage you to take advantage of the special offers today. And Cheryl really mentioned some great ideas for adding new modalities to your practice, and keep in mind that as a MedResults member, you have access to discounts and rebates on everything that she mentioned, probably from microneedling through Dermapen to skin tightening to multi-use lasers and medical weight loss programs. Feel free to contact Feel free to contact Cheryl about some of these opportunities as well. I know she's very well connected and can help you out. Or feel free to reach out to me directly about our participating vendors and associated benefits. Thank you again. Don't forget that a quick survey is going to pop up after the end of this presentation. And if you have questions for Cheryl, this is a great way to let us know that you want to be contacted and speak with her directly. So once again, thank you everyone for attending, and have a great rest of your afternoon.